Hello, 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 or should I say ciao and buonasera. My name is Todd Hershey, and tonight we're going to be looking at passion and love. So pour yourself a glass of your finest beverage. Feel free to sit back, relax, and let's talk love and passion. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is kind of look at the differences between love and passion. So we're both coming from the same place. We have the same definitions as to what love is, what passion is. Feel free to send me an email, send me a text to let me know if you think I'm a little bit off base or a lot off base, because everybody has their own viewpoint and definitions of love and passion. So for this context and in this case, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at love as an intense feeling and or deep affections towards somebody. It's like how a mother looks at a newborn child. It's how your dog looks at you. Love is long-lasting, and it cares more about the give than it does the take, or what it's going to get, or what it's going to have. It's really all about this sense of well-being. And the best line or the best quote I can find was by a guy by the name of Leo Buscaglia, who was a hero of mine, who wrote actually a book called Love. And if you get the chance to read it, it's well worth the time if you can find it. He said that love is always open arms. If you close your arms about love, you will find you are left holding only yourself. Love can only work when it is reciprocal. That's why when I tell people about, to love something or someone, I'm usually referring to something or someone that can love them back. So, for example, love your spouse, love your kids, love your dog, love the fans. Love those things that can love you back. Do not love the things that cannot love you back. For example, do not love the house. Do not love the money. Do not love these things. These things cannot love you back. Do you love the audience? Sure, the audience can love you back. Do you love the money that the audience brings? You could, but eventually the audience is going to go away. It happens to everybody. And then what are you left with? A whole lot of hurt. Love needs to be reciprocal. If it can't be reciprocated, it's not love. It's affection, passion. It's something else, but it's just not love. You can have unrequited love, in which love goes one direction, but unrequited love is probably one of the sadder things about that in a little bit. All right, let's talk about passion. What is passion? Passion is a strong and barely controllable emotion. Okay? Passion has a tendency to come and go. Passion is short-lived. Okay? So when we talk about passion, it's like those boots that you wanted and they've just been sitting in the back of your closet for the last 2 years. You needed it at that moment, and in that moment, it was all you could think about, and then it goes away. That is passion. That's how you know the difference between love and passion. The love is 20 years later, the person comes up to you and says, "Hey, I need some help." You're like, "What can I do for you? Here you go. Whatever you need." Passion is, who are you again? I don't remember your name. You can always tell love and passion. Passion is a desire for an object and or an experience. You're not looking for a reciprocal thing. You're looking to use something, to gain something, to have something, or to take something. You want to get. That's what passion is about. Passion is getting something, okay? It's about getting your desires fulfilled. It is about fulfilling your wants, needs, all of that stuff. And that's the difference between love and passion. Love is about a give that is reciprocal. Passion is about a get that is internal to self, to make you, it's about gratification of just the self. And what passion is, in as far as my best line or the thing I was able to find best, is that passion allows life to be rich with substance, with spice. Passion is like spices. It makes things taste better. Okay? It makes things that you do better. It is the spice of life. A life without passion is not living. It's existing. If you don't have any passion in your life, then you are existing. I wake up, I get ready, I go to the same job, I get the crap beaten out of me day in, day out by this guy who calls himself my boss. I go home, I'm too tired, I barely eat some food, I watch some TV, and I fall asleep. Unfortunately, that's about 100 million Americans. And that's really not having, much of a life. It is a life, but I don't know that I could call them living. I would say they're more existing. So we're going to look at what it takes to go from existing to living and from living to loving. And in order to do that, we have to break down some of the ashes to flash situations. We have an old saying in my business, and it goes, up like a flash, down like an ash. They met on Monday. They fell in love on Tuesday. On Wednesday, they were engaged. On Thursday, they got married. On Friday, they had a honeymoon. On Saturday, they got into an argument. And on Sunday, they were divorced. They were up like a flash and down like an ash. Anything that goes up too fast usually crashes in a horrible and magnificent way. So one of the things that, based upon my experience working with these flash to crash people, is that it usually starts with a miscommunication based upon a different set of expectations. Okay? So one of the things we're going to look at turning, passion into love is that you have to be both talking the same language. And here's the other thing. You have to be talking in a way that the other person understands. You already know what you're saying. The other person needs to understand that. Now, when the other person says, I'm looking for a lot of money, you have to ask yourself, is that $100? Or is that $100,000? Or is that $100 million? Miscommunications happen all the time because people have different expectations based upon the words that the other people are using. I would love to go on a trip. Well, to this person, a trip is, leave Friday, get back Sunday night, and then go to the work next day. The other person leaves on a trip and is gone for 2 months, roaming about, Australia, going walkabout from Sydney to Melbourne, all the way over to Perth. Whatever it is usually one of those things in which we have flash to ash situations in which we can trace it directly back to communications and the miscommunications. So if you're going to turn passion into love, the first thing you're going to have to do is talk the same language, which means ask a whole hell of a lot of questions. Even if it's annoying, keep asking them. Keep saying, and exactly what do you mean by that? Because we all have a tendency to leave things off. Hey, I'll talk to you Tuesday. Okay, what time Tuesday? Okay, are we going to be meeting in person or is this over the phone? Find out. Be as complete as you can. Because what love requires is it requires an agreement between the two parties, that they're both consensual, that they're both showing and giving, that they're both being vulnerable and open and honest with each other. If it's not, then you probably have passion. Passion, I'm going to tell you my first name. I won't tell you where I live, and I'm not sharing my phone number with you. Let's go to the back room. That is passion. Passion is one of those things in which you wouldn't want to live your life without it, but you have to be careful of it. Passion, when it goes too far, gets to a tipping point. When that tipping point happens, then it goes into obsession. Passion to obsession is a very dangerous thing in this world. You are passionate about being a gambler. You are passionate about the wine you drank. You are passionate about, let's say, friends, with being passionate with friends with being a friend of this person. Well, your gambling leads to an addiction in gambling. Your wine leads to alcoholism, and you now are in an obsessive compulsive relationship in which your servitude is required in order for this person to prolong and proliferate their neo-narcissistic ways. And with that, you're in deep trouble. The problem with passion is that passion usually starts as fun and ends up as trouble. And one of the things we want to do is we want to make sure that passion doesn't go into trouble. We want to make sure that passion goes into love. And if it doesn't, then we got a problem. One of the ways that you're going to find that is to figure out by doing something that I've called a relationship diagnostic. Now, for those of you who want, get ready to stop this video when I put this up on the board. When I put this up. Okay, so this right here is the relationship matrix. It's a diagnostic. And what it does is it allows you to kind of look at where you are and look at what you want. I strongly recommend that everybody fill one of these out with the person that they are with, because it'll tell you what you're looking for in a relationship, and it'll tell you what they're looking for in a relationship. The more of these things that you have in common, the better off that you are. The more things that you do not have in common, okay, the worse off you are. When you see somebody who says, how do you, here, let me put this up for you folks. Okay, so when you see somebody describe your relationship from now until the day you die, and you write, well, it's going to be secure, and they write just something crazy like it's going to be completely chaotic. Security doesn't go well with chaotic. What do you, and then we go down here, describe the relationship you want your relationship to be like today. And if you say you want your relationship to be loving, and their version of loving is to have an open, unmonogamous relationship in which anybody can do whatever they want, whenever they want, with whoever they want, that is loving to them. Then you both put down loving, but you both need to define what loving is. So the best thing that you can do when it comes to finding passion versus love is to see things clearly. And this will help you see things clearly. Feel free to take a screen grab of that and do your answers. It's a good thing to do even if you are single. Okay. Taking that away. Bringing the next slide up. All right. A life without passion is not existing. A relationship diagnostic will tell you if you're looking at a passion that's a relationship that's passionate, or a relationship that is loving or has the potential for love. Remember, those first 10 questions are about where you're at. The second 10 questions are where you want to be. Now, if you're going to live in a life of love and create love and really connect with somebody, you're going to have to start with, guess who? You got to start with yourself, because you can't give what you don't have. So if you want love, you're going to have to give yourself love. The example that I usually use is the idea of, hey, can I borrow $150 million? Well, most people will tell you no, and the reason for that is they don't have $150 million. You can't give what you don't have. The people that can laugh at themselves can laugh with you. Trust me, they will not laugh at you. They will look at you and they will laugh with you. My laughing, I will always be able to laugh with you, but I shall never laugh at you. That is my promise to you. There's a huge difference between laughing with people and laughing at people. And in order to laugh with you, I have to be able to laugh at myself. In order to love you, I have to be able to love myself. In order to be compassionate towards you, I have to be compassionate to myself. So many people compare themselves to the people around them. And then they take those comparisons and then they put those comparisons on you and say, do you live up to the people and situations that are around me? Because if you don't, then I can't have you around me, because I'm always comparing myself. Therefore, I'm going to compare you. Stay the hell away from that person in a love relationship. That is the last person you want to be in a relationship with. That is the kind of person that will drive you insane. That is the person that marries for love, only to find out that when you marry for, you don't marry for love. She marries for money, or he marries for money. The kind of person that will compare will marry for status, for money, for something. The thing that they don't realize is that they're always going to earn it. There's no way you cannot earn it eventually. If they marry for looks, guess what I'm going to tell you? Looks fade. And very rarely can money buy you the kind of love that we're going to talk about tonight. Okay? So find out how much you love yourself. If you want to know how much you love yourself, here you go. Get ready for a screenshot. There you go. Fill this out. One word in each one of the boxes. Okay? It'll tell you how things came to be in your life. It will tell you all kinds of interesting things, why things are, how to influence things, how to be happy. It'll tell you all kinds of fun and interesting and different things that you're going to need in order for your life to work. And when you have that and you're working, then you find the balance. Finding balance. Here, let me bring this back up again. Finding balance with this is going to basically be the four things on the bottom, which are physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. When you've got 4 good words here, you're physically fit, you're emotionally healthy, you're mentally strong, you're spiritually focused, your intention is peaceful, your actions are helpful, your outcome is going to be good, your consciousness is clear, your subconsciousness is harmony, and your energy is pure. That's a great person to have a relationship. That's a person who's ready to be in a relationship. And before you say, oh, but there's nobody like that, and who the hell, you can't find people like that. That doesn't exist. No, that's what life is about. You came into this life to be a better person, not to cop out and just say, oh, I can't. Life sucked. It was hard. Screw it. I got some negative answers. I just won't get what I'm looking for. That's just bullshit. If you can't take a little bit of time and work on yourself, then there's just no way you're going to be able to take the time, effort, and energy to help somebody who you're with. Again, if you can't give it to yourself, you won't be able to give it to somebody else. So give yourself some love. Give yourself some compassion. Do these different things that can allow you to be a better form of yourself. Because you can't give what you don't have. And if you have the ability to love, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just do that? Why wouldn't you do something that will allow you to find balance, and then once you have that balance, share it with others? In a word, control. That's a big bugaboo. Most people want to have control. Most people don't want to be vulnerable. Most people don't want to share their intimate details of what they've done and who they've done it with, or how much they make, or how fat they are, or what they look like without their clothes on, or all the bad ideas that they get at 2 o'clock in the morning because they can't sleep. Well, guess what? You're not alone. But if you're going to love, you're going to have to give up control. Not only are you going to have to give up control, you're going to have to give up controlling the other person. What they do, how they do, what they say, how they say it. That's not love. Okay? Unless we're talking about maybe you're controlling a 5-year-old. You've got a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old. You're teaching them things. And you're controlling them in a class or a situation to where control is absolutely important. You're on a gun range and you need to be in control of somebody else. That I get. But when you try and control how somebody loves you, the way they love you, it's hopeless, and they will resent you for it. The only thing that you can control is yourself. And when it comes to love, the only thing you should control is who you give your love to. Because if it's not reciprocal, move on. No matter how many times I tried to teach my turtle to fly by throwing him off the roof, he never would fly. It's not love, and it's a turtle. Understand that love can't come from somebody who can't love you back, and there's all kinds of signs. Look at some of the earlier videos, you'll be able to see them. If you're going to take a deeper situation or go into this a little bit deeper, then what I would recommend, here we go, is you modeling this for the next week. This will be a way for you to get into shape on a spiritual, emotional, mental, physical level in which you can find your balance. We went through this last week, so it goes like this. Energy takes a form, it comes into being. When it does, when something comes into birth, it faces resistance. Think about a baby being born. There's resistance. You have to struggle, okay? Between those two things, there's fusion. You have a new baby. You have life, a new child, okay? Energy takes a form, comes into being. Energy, I'm going to get thin. I'm going to go to the gym is the form I'm taking. And when I'm at the gym, I'm being athletic. The resistance of the weight gives me a fusion in which I lose weight, gain muscle, and I look different. Great, that's all physical. That's how you do it for the physical. Figure out an energy form, being, resistance, fusion that you want to have in your physical world. What kind of person physically do you want? do you care about? Is this going to be a man, a woman? Is this going to be a rich person, a poor person? Is this going to be tall? Is this going to be short? Is this going to be black, white? Everybody has preferences, and preferences are okay. It's not a discrimination. It's a preference for you to be with whom you want to be with. Now, if you reject somebody because of a preference, and when you're hiring them, then yeah, we got a problem. If you reject somebody because you have a preference, because it's, I don't know, you're going to be in an elite military situation, and the person is 5'5" tall, they weigh 365 pounds, and they can't run a half a block, then yeah, it's a preference. And yeah, there's probably a reason for that. Everybody has these beliefs as to what will work well for them. The funny part is that we have these beliefs, and the universe is going to teach us a lesson on those beliefs. So the more restrictive, the more whatever it is that you're looking for, the universe, just remember, has a funny sense of humor. And a lot of times what you expect to have happen is going to come in a completely different package. So be open to that. That's the second thing you're going to want to do. When it comes to emotions, the energy the energy that you're going to have when it comes to emotions, and the form it will take, and how you're going to be being, will face all kinds of resistance. For example, the energy I want for my emotional state is I want to be open, and the form that's going to take is I'm going to go talk with new people. I might go to someplace new. I might go to a bar, or I might go out with some friends, or I might go on JDate or something like that. I might look at an app, whatever it is, and I'm going to be open and honest and clear with the person I am going to be with. Is that going to bring up some resistance in most people? Hell yes. And it's also going to bring up some resistance because there's going to be a lot of people out there that you are going to have to pick through. Nobody said this was going to be easy, but when you find the right person and you and they are together, then there's a fusion that will happen. A joining of two souls, connecting as one, which will make all of the crap totally worth it. Ask a woman if she likes being pregnant. Most will say, not really. Some will. I've known some girls that have loved to be pregnant. But when you ask most mothers, hey, now that you've had the baby, we're going to take it from you, it's not going to happen. Once they bond, that's it. There is a bonding. It is natural. It is alchemical. It is, pheromonal. It is a whole lot of different things. It's unique. It's spiritual. And that's what we want with our emotions. We want that unique, open ability to connect with somebody on a deep level. And we're going to go to mental. Mental, what we're going to look for is clarity and communications. So the energy I'm going to have around communication is going to take the form of being very clear. I will enunciate my words. I will talk clearly. I will not use a double entendre. I will not do the things that are going to make things more confusing. I will be clear with what I say. And not only will I be clear, I will be good to my word. If I say I'm going to do it, then I will do it. I will talk of ideas, not of situations of people. Miss Roosevelt. It's about you being clear and about sharing your thoughts in a crystalline way and the ideas that you have. And finally, in spirituality is just simply your path. Are you a spiritual person? What is your connection with the universe? My connection with the universe shall be inclusive and loving. I am a creation of love and light, reborn in a higher power. So my energy is going to be I am. My form is going to be a creation. My being is of love and light. And I will be reborn. The resistance is the rebirth to a higher power. That is my spiritual mantra. What's yours? Take a second, figure it out. This stuff doesn't work unless you work with me, unless you break out the paper and pen and do some writing. That's the way this stuff works. This is how you get balanced. Figure out what you want when it comes to love, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The fun part is that you get 100 people in the room And everybody says, oh, everybody's going to want the same thing. And it's never worked out that way for me. You might have one or two people that want the same things, but in general, I've never had 100 people write the same 4 words. Okay? It's happened once or twice. It just never really happens. Everybody's looking for something different. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it interesting, because we all have these different ideas and concepts. And sharing these different ideas and concepts is where the fun really gets good. Okay? So remember, if you're going to want love and create love out of passion, then you start with yourself. You passionately find balance within yourself, and then you can find it with others. You do not seek to control them, you only seek to control yourself. And by controlling yourself, what you're going to do is you're going to take a screenshot of that last picture, and you're going to ask yourself, what is the energy? What is the form? What is it being? And what will it meet when I go out into the world? Because if the energy that you want is loving, caring, nurturing, the form it takes is by you staying in the house and being quiet and only watching TV, then the resistance you're going to have is massive. And the fusion is you're going to be remaining alone. If the energy you take is to go out, to talk with people, to be open, to be smart, to be caring, to be loving, then you will basically get what you're looking for. Or at least you'll get a lot more than what you would get sitting at home alone. All right, going into passion now. Passion. If you want to revive your passion, it's spicing. So let's take the most boring thing you could think of. Let's take ground turkey. Okay? Does it help to put salt, pepper, and a little bit of spices on ground turkey? Maybe throw tomatoes, some cheese, throw it on some bread, put some lettuce in there. Yeah. Now you got a hamburger. Passion is layers or layering. Do you have passion when it comes to your clothes or colors, music or friends? Passion is a spice of life, and God knows we all need a little bit more spice in our life. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Grab a glass of wine. Take a sip while doing a podcast. Enjoy yourself. Life is too short to not have passion in it. And the best way to find, at least I found for passion to exist, is to go to a new place and to do a new thing. So if you guys are in a city like New York, Chicago, LA, San Francisco, Detroit, Miami, you have no excuses. If you say, I'm so bored, I'm like the Romanovs, there's no excuse for that. There's absolutely none. You're a boring person. There's no such thing as a boring situation, only boring people. When people are boring, situations are boring. And if I'm bored, I got my own damn self to be upset with. There is no such thing as boredom because there are too many things to do, places to go, things to see, books to read, films to watch, music to listen to, people to talk to. If you're bored, it's on you. If you're bored, find a new place, go do a new thing. If you don't know what that is, think about when you were a kid. Think about before they stripped away all of your creativity, all of your happiness, all of your ability to dream and to think about what you could do. Whether it was being an astronaut, or whether it was writing a great musical, or performing on stage, or performing surgery. We all had dreams as kids before somebody probably said, no, you can't do that. Passion is not rational. So don't let rational people tell you that you can't. Let rational people say to you, all right, you want to do this, but jumping out of a plane without a parachute is not a good idea. We'd all agree that that's true. Taking somebody's dreams away from them is probably the cruelest thing you could do. And dreams are where passion lives. The dream of doing something, the dream of creating something, being something, having something, becoming something. This is where passion is really all about. And when you have that passion, like that passion that you have when you were a little kid, then anything that you can dream is possible. And it may not happen in your lifetime. Sorry, but that's the truth. I'm sure there were people 5,000 years or 500 years ago that were thinking about flying, but 500 years ago, that was not the case. Now you got planes. It may not happen in your lifetime, but you may be the person that allows it to happen in the next life or the life or the generation after that. It's up to you. We all remember George Washington. We all remember, any one of 1,000 different people, from Jesus Christ to Albert Einstein and everybody in between. People are remembered because they put forth something new in a new way that helped create something amazing that other people could rally behind. Some of the sad things is that a lot of these people were not as famous in their own life as what they could have been. But we're not doing what we're doing for just the fame. We're doing it because there's this deep internal burning drive that wants to come out, that hasn't been squished or squelched or told that it was not possible for you. Find that again. Walk around. Go to do something new, something that you've never done. Enjoy yourself. Don't do something that's dangerous. Don't try and do something that you've never done. Don't take a car up to 125, 130 miles an hour if you've never driven past 60. Don't walk out of a bar at 2 o'clock into a dark alley. Don't do these things. There's passion, but we've already talked about passion can go wrong. When passion is done in the right way, it leads to love. When passion is the wrong way, it leads to pain. So know when to say when. Know when to call it a night. Be responsible. Be an adult. And let passion be your friend and not the thing that rides you and guides you to destruction and chaos. That's not what it's there for. Last thing I'm going to say on passion is you have to be careful about approval. Passion usually dies because a lot of people don't approve of certain things. But you have to ask yourself, am I good with this? Is this what's right for me to do? We're seeing a revolution in Iran right now with the hijab coming off and people standing up and saying, I don't want morality police. I don't want people squelching my freedom, my creativity, who I am, how I look. That's not right. And it's not right for this country to do that too. So remember, do you approve of yourself? Because if you do approve of yourself, control yourself. Don't let other people try and control you. And what they think of you, honestly, is not so much this doesn't really matter as much as what you think of yourself. It's far more important for you to feel good about yourself. Now, for those of you who want to kind of go through what we did with regards to love, let me do this. For those of you who want to get a better idea of passion or what passion is going to do, take a screenshot of this. Basically, ask yourself emotionally, what are you wanting, longing for, hoping for, desiring? What do you want? What is it that you wish? What is it, as the devil would say, what is it you desire? And just keep asking yourself that question. Bring a little notebook, see what comes up. Take a look around you. See what comes around, because consciously you'll be able to pick up the things that you see around yourself, and then mentally you'll say, aha, that's it, and write it down into a book. Once you write it down, then you know what you want. Then just start noticing it more and more and more and more. Make your plan to get it. We can talk about how to get what you want in your plans in the next thing, or the one after that. The next one is going to be on coming into this life and responsibility of karma and things like that. So it should be a lot of fun. But if you want to know what you're passionate about your emotions. Do you want to connect with somebody? Do you want to be seen as smart, caring, loving? Do you want to be seen as a mother? Do you want to be seen as the boss? What is it that you want? Do you want the big house? What is it that you want? If it can love you back, all the better. If it can't, okay, but don't confuse it for love. Having that desire, okay. Having love is great. When we combine the two of them, we have a life that is worth living. Okay, that's it for me. I've unfortunately gone over my 30-minute mark, which means I got to wrap this up. So if you're going to turn passion into love, start with yourself. Be passionate. Take those screenshots. Write down what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Take all of those things that we just talked about, all those ideas of love and caring and self-care and what you're going to do and how you're going to transform and manifest balance in your own life, and then share that with other people by doing the things that you love to do. The greatest love relationships have always been a basis of knowledge, information, sharing that knowledge and information, communicating that knowledge and information, and committing to that dream together. That's how it works. When you have that passion and love together towards a common dream that is committed and whole, then there's nothing you can't do or nothing you can't have. All right, that's it for tonight. Sorry for going a little bit longer. Next time, we're going to be looking at past life, karma, and why you came into this life and what you're supposed here to do. All right, that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to go to todd@toddhershey.com or send me an email at todd@toddhershey.com or go to todd@toddhershey.com, and you can have all this stuff will be there for you. That's it. I hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday. Take care, and I hope you find love and passion.